Many people have completely misunderstood what creates a satisfying, intimate experience, and the biggest misconceptions have been repeated for years. A lot of men believe the answer is all about speed, intensity, or copying what they have seen in movies or online. They assume that moving faster or being more aggressive is what their partner wants. In reality, that approach often leads to the exact opposite result. Real intimacy is not built on rushing. It comes from understanding how the female body responds and creating an experience that feels comfortable, enjoyable, and emotionally connected for both people. When you understand the difference, everything changes. Instead of leaving your partner feeling disconnected or uncomfortable, you create trust, closeness, and a stronger bond that continues long after the moment is over. In this video, we're going to explore some of the most overlooked aspects of physical intimacy that many people are never taught. You'll learn why taking your time is more than simple courtesy. It's something the female body naturally requires in order to respond comfortably. We'll also look at a simple technique that can greatly improve the experience for both partners, including one important detail that many men completely overlook. Finally, we'll discuss why paying close attention to your partner's reactions matters just as much as any physical technique. These are practical principles that can help build better communication, deeper connection, and greater confidence. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, take a moment to like it, leave a comment sharing where you're watching from, and subscribe for more content like this. There's much more ahead that could completely change the way you think about intimacy. The first mistake many men make is becoming too intense far too quickly. It is easy to understand why this happens. Movies, television, and online content often create the impression that intimacy should immediately become fast, forceful, and highly energetic. Because this message is repeated so often, many people assume that's the normal or expected approach. In reality, the female body works very differently. Physical arousal is a gradual biological process, not something that happens the instant intimacy begins. As arousal develops, blood flow increases, natural lubrication improves, muscles become more relaxed, and the vaginal canal gradually expands to allow deeper penetration comfortably. None of these changes happen instantly. They require time. Ignoring this natural process can easily lead to discomfort instead of pleasure, even if a partner never says a word about it. Many women may stay quiet because they don't want to interrupt the moment, hurt their partner's feelings, or because they believe discomfort is simply part of intimacy. That silence, however, should never be mistaken for enjoyment. Taking things slowly allows her body to respond the way it was designed to, making deeper intimacy feel comfortable instead of painful. Slowing down is not a sign of hesitation or lack of confidence. It shows patience, awareness, and respect for how the body naturally functions. Think about it like warming up before exercise. You wouldn't expect your body to perform at its best without preparation. Intimacy follows the same principle. Building excitement gradually creates stronger physical and emotional connection, making the experience far more enjoyable for both partners while laying the foundation for everything that follows. The next principle is learning how to use anticipation to your advantage. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that maintaining the exact same level of intensity from beginning to end creates the best experience. In reality, the human brain responds much more strongly to variety and contrast. When someone experiences consistent stimulation for an extended period, the body gradually becomes accustomed to it, making those sensations feel less exciting over time. Creating small changes in rhythm keeps both the mind and body engaged. Instead of constantly pushing harder, try allowing the intensity to rise naturally, then briefly ease back before building it again. This creates anticipation, which often makes the experience feel even more rewarding once the intensity returns. The goal isn't frustration. It's creating moments that increase excitement and make each change feel more meaningful. Imagine you've settled into a rhythm that your partner clearly seems to enjoy. Rather than keeping that pace without interruption, gently slow things down for a short period before gradually increasing the intensity again. Those small shifts encourage the body to remain responsive while preventing the experience from becoming repetitive. However, timing is important. Pulling back too close to the moment your partner is approaching climax can interrupt the experience and leave them feeling disappointed instead of satisfied. This approach works best during the earlier and middle stages when excitement is still building. By allowing anticipation to develop naturally, you create stronger emotional engagement and greater physical enjoyment without relying on constant speed or force. Sometimes slowing down for a brief moment can make everything that follows feel significantly more powerful. Another important habit is avoiding the exact same rhythm throughout the entire experience. While consistency might seem like a good thing, repeating one pace for too long allows the body to adjust to it, making those sensations feel less exciting as time goes on. This is a natural response of the nervous system. Variety helps maintain interest and keeps both partners more engaged. Instead of staying locked into one speed or pattern, allow your movements to change naturally as the moment develops. Sometimes a slower, more relaxed pace creates a stronger sense of closeness. At other times, increasing the rhythm can add excitement and energy. There is no perfect formula that fits every situation. The key is being flexible and responding to what feels comfortable and enjoyable for both of you, rather than following the same pattern from beginning to end. As the experience progresses, your pace should reflect the moment rather than remain fixed. During quieter, more intimate moments, slowing down can encourage eye contact, affection, and a stronger emotional connection. As excitement builds naturally, increasing the tempo may feel appropriate if both partners are comfortable. These gradual changes prevent the experience from becoming predictable while allowing each stage to flow into the next. Paying attention to your partner's comfort and reactions is far more valuable than trying to imitate something you've seen elsewhere. Before we continue to the next principle, remember that learning about intimacy is an ongoing process. Keeping an open mind and focusing on communication, mutual enjoyment, and respect will always lead to a more satisfying experience than relying on speed, repetition, or unrealistic expectations. Now let's look at another technique that is often overlooked but can make a meaningful difference. Many people focus almost entirely on repetitive in and out movement, believing that's the only thing that matters. However, the female body responds to different types of stimulation, and understanding this can create a much more satisfying experience. Gentle body-to-body pressure, sometimes called grinding, allows for closer physical contact while stimulating areas that many men unintentionally ignore. Instead of relying only on one movement, keeping your bodies close and using controlled pressure can increase comfort, enhance connection, and create sensations that many women find far more pleasurable. It also encourages greater emotional closeness because both partners remain physically connected rather than constantly separating with every movement. Small adjustments like this can completely change how intimacy feels without requiring extra effort or complicated techniques. Another advantage of this approach is that it naturally encourages you to slow down and stay in control. If you ever feel yourself becoming overly excited too quickly, shifting to slower body-to-body movement gives you an opportunity to regain control while still maintaining your partner's enjoyment. It creates a balanced experience where neither person feels rushed, allowing the moment to unfold at a comfortable pace. Different positions may make this technique easier than others, so don't be afraid to experiment together and discover what feels most natural. Remember, there is no single method that works for everyone. The most rewarding experiences come from paying attention, communicating openly, and adjusting based on what both of you genuinely enjoy. When comfort, connection, and mutual satisfaction become the priority, intimacy becomes far more meaningful for both partners. The final principle is also one of the most important. Stay present and pay close attention to your partner throughout the experience. No technique, no matter how effective it may seem, can replace genuine awareness. Every person responds differently, which means there is no universal approach that works for everyone. Instead of focusing only on what you're doing, pay attention to how your partner responds. Notice changes in breathing, body language, facial expressions, and overall comfort. These natural signals often communicate far more than words alone. When you become more attentive, you're able to adjust naturally, creating an experience that feels more comfortable, enjoyable, and connected for both of you. Intimacy should never feel like following a script. It should be a shared experience where both partners feel heard, respected, and understood from beginning to end. Many people become distracted by worries about their own performance. They overthink every movement, question whether they're doing everything correctly, or compare themselves to unrealistic expectations created by media and the internet. Unfortunately, that mental distraction often causes them to miss the most important part of intimacy, connecting with the person right in front of them. Shifting your attention away from self-doubt and toward your partner creates a much stronger emotional bond. Open communication, patience, and genuine curiosity about what makes each other comfortable will always produce better results than relying on memorized techniques. The strongest relationships are built on trust, understanding, and mutual respect, and those same qualities are what make physical intimacy more satisfying, meaningful, and enjoyable for both partners. Another important habit that many couples overlook is the value of communication during intimacy. Communication doesn't always have to be a long conversation. Sometimes it's as simple as asking what feels comfortable, checking in with your partner, or encouraging them to express what they enjoy. Every individual has different preferences, and assuming that one approach works for everyone often leads to disappointment. When both partners feel comfortable sharing honest feedback without fear of judgment, intimacy becomes much more relaxed and enjoyable. Small conversations before, during, or after being together can help both of you understand each other's needs better. This creates an environment built on trust rather than guesswork. The more openly you communicate, the easier it becomes to discover what strengthens your connection and what should be adjusted to make future experiences even better. It's equally important to remember that intimacy isn't a performance where one person is expected to impress the other. The goal is to create an experience that both partners enjoy together. Instead of focusing on unrealistic standards or trying to imitate what you've seen elsewhere, pay attention to the unique connection you share. Be patient, remain adaptable, and don't be afraid to slow down whenever necessary. The strongest intimate relationships aren't built through perfect techniques, but through mutual respect, understanding, and a willingness to learn together over time. As your confidence grows and your communication improves, you'll find that physical closeness becomes much more natural, meaningful, and satisfying. Those lasting emotional connections are what truly make intimacy memorable and strengthen a relationship for years to come. One of the greatest differences between an average experience and an unforgettable one is the ability to remain fully engaged from beginning to end. Instead of thinking several steps ahead or worrying about how everything is going, focus on the moment you're sharing together. When your attention stays on your partner, you're far more likely to notice the subtle signals that reveal what they're feeling. A change in breathing, relaxed body language, gentle movements, or a smile can all tell you that you're moving in the right direction. Likewise, if something seems uncomfortable, slowing down and adjusting your approach shows maturity and consideration. Intimacy isn't about proving yourself. It's about creating an atmosphere where both people feel safe, valued, and genuinely connected. That kind of presence can't be replaced by any technique because it forms the foundation of trust and mutual enjoyment. It's also worth remembering that every experience is an opportunity to learn more about each other. What feels amazing one day may not feel exactly the same another time, which is perfectly normal. People's comfort levels, emotions, and energy can change, so staying flexible is always better than following a fixed routine. Couples who continue listening, communicating, and adapting over time often build a stronger physical and emotional connection than those who rely on habits alone. The most rewarding intimacy grows from patience, kindness, and a willingness to understand your partner's needs. When both people feel respected and cared for, confidence naturally increases, pressure disappears, and the relationship becomes stronger both inside and outside the bedroom. As we've covered throughout this video, improving intimacy isn't about learning complicated tricks or trying to imitate unrealistic examples. It's about understanding how the body naturally responds, showing patience, and making your partner's comfort just as important as your own. Taking your time, creating variety, adjusting your pace, staying physically connected, and paying close attention to your partner all work together to create a much more enjoyable experience. These principles aren't difficult to apply, but they do require awareness and a willingness to move beyond old habits. The more you focus on building trust instead of chasing performance, the stronger your connection becomes. Small, thoughtful changes often have a much greater impact than dramatic gestures, and over time, they help create an intimate relationship that feels more relaxed, satisfying, and rewarding for both people. Remember that every couple is different, so there is no single formula that guarantees the perfect experience every time. The key is staying open, communicating honestly, and continuing to learn together as your relationship grows. Real confidence doesn't come from pretending to know everything. It comes from listening, adapting, and caring about your partner's experience just as much as your own. When both people feel respected, understood, and emotionally connected, physical intimacy naturally becomes more fulfilling. If you found these insights helpful, don't forget to support the channel by leaving a like, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing for more practical content designed to help you build stronger relationships and develop greater confidence through knowledge and understanding. The most valuable lesson to take away is that great intimacy is never about trying to impress someone. It comes from patience, understanding, and paying attention to the person you're sharing the experience with. When you focus on building trust instead of rushing, you naturally create a stronger emotional and physical connection. Every relationship is different, and what works best is discovering what brings comfort and enjoyment to both of you. Don't feel pressured to be perfect or compare yourself to unrealistic expectations. Instead, approach intimacy with curiosity, respect, and a willingness to learn together. Those simple qualities often make a much bigger difference than any technique ever could. As your communication improves and your confidence grows, you'll find that your connection becomes more natural, more meaningful, and much more satisfying for both partners over time. If there's one thing to remember from everything we've discussed today, it's that real intimacy is built on mutual care, not performance. Listening, adapting, communicating openly, and respecting each other's comfort will always create a better experience than relying on speed or intensity alone. Relationships become stronger when both partners feel heard, appreciated, and emotionally safe. Continue learning, keep an open mind, and never underestimate the power of kindness and patience in building a lasting connection. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more practical relationship insights. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.